Hey guys, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be getting the engine and transmission bolted together. As you see, it's an empty garage. Jerry's sitting outside, rolled him out so that way I could get all this stuff off the stands, bolted together, hanging on the hoist, and then we'll go ahead and put her in. The bad news is I bought motor mounts, solid motor mounts for Gerry, and I got them both tacked in back when we had the engine in the last time. Well, one of them didn't get tacked in good enough and came out with the engine. Well, we took it off, we set it somewhere, and we've lost it. That was about 9 months ago, and we've torn everything apart. We can't find it. So what I've done is, in the meantime, I've made replacement pieces for the mount, and then I've got to make my spacer to go in between. But I'd show you on the car exactly what it looks like, but since it's outside, yeah, I can't do that. But anyway, so we're going to get rolling on this. I'm going to pull the transmission off of the mount and then get the engine unwrapped and start putting them together and then getting them hanging in the air. So I thought we'd get a real nice satisfaction video shot right here of taking all this plastic off. I mean, we all kind of know what the engine looks like, but it's been a while since it's been unwrapped. So all right, there it is in all of its glory. So I know we made a video on building the engine, but I'm just going to kind of quickly go back over what it has in it. Those are fully ported stock Corvette LT1 aluminum cylinder heads. It is 12-to-1 compression with flat top pistons. It's got eagle rods, stock crank, full ARP everywhere, an old style Edelbrock single plane intake. I just got my new Proform 750 E85 carburetor. We'll have to show that, which I did not bring it with me. Don't need it. You know, generic. It's a Jegs kick-out oil pan. You know, just a run-of-the-mill basic small block. Does run a double roller, and it has a 510 lift, 236, 238 duration cam. Should make good power up to about 65 to 7,000. It is a hydraulic cam. Eventually, I do want to put a solid roller in it. That is, if it survives. If it doesn't survive, then I'm not going to worry about it. But I would like to kind of build it up a little bit more in the future if it holds. But we'll see. But anyway, I just want to give a quick overview of what it is and everything. So we'll go back to getting it off the stand and getting everything hooked up. Well, that was way harder by myself than I thought it was going to be. Um, you know, transmission's not terrible, but when you're trying to balance it and put bolts in, sucker's heavy. But it's all together, bolted on and tight. I got 4 bolts in it. That should be enough for just what we're doing now. There's no flex plate, there's no torque converter, because this is coming back out here before too long, so we can paint the frame and do some more sheet metal work. And this is just for me to put it in so we can get the motor mounts finalized and get them fully. One's already fully welded, this one will get tacked and then welded in, and then I can make the headers and stuff for it. So that's kind of the real reason we're just putting it in this time, to get those things done. And then it'll come back out, like I said, and we can paint, and then it'll go together for it to run. I don't want to say the last time, because we know this is probably going to come in and out several times. But it's a process. Hopefully we'll get her in tonight. Well, she's in. I kind of made a mistake. I put the chain on this side of the engine, and it's too close to the firewall to get that bolt out. So we'll have to remember that for next time, that we put the chain on the other side, because look at all that space. So much room for activities. So anyway, I messed up, made a mistake, but I'm not going to tack weld these brackets in yet. I want to check the alignment with the rear end, with the drive shaft and everything. I think that's going to be kind of the best option and the smartest thing to do, because I'd really hate to weld it and then can't even put the drive shaft in. So that'll be for another time, another day. But I'm just happy that it's in, and that everything's close enough that I think it's going to work. So yeah, we'll get the drive shaft in, and then get the motor mount welded in and everything, and then we'll probably work on the floor some to weld the motor mounts in. So I forgot that the rear end still isn't centered under the car, and it's not really straight, so trying with the drive shaft didn't really tell me anything. But what I did do is I basically checked the timing cover to the front sway bar, and they are pretty parallel with each other, so I'm going to call that good enough. So I mean, if it's off a little bit, I mean, the rear end and the drive shaft, the U-joint, I mean, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's, I mean, it's important, but it's going to be close enough. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and burn those mounts in, and then basically just try to get as much set up here in the front end so I can work on building headers this weekend. It's going to be kind of difficult because I'm going to be shooting for that gap between the brake booster, the steering shaft, and that front bar. So, you know, we'll see how it works out. I mean, they're 1 3/4 inch, so it's not like we're trying to fit, you know, 2-inch tube or bigger through there. But, I mean, it's still going to be really tight. That side's going to be super easy because there's obviously nothing in the way there. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll show you that and go along with that. So, but yeah, let's get this motor mounts burned in. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I just got to do the backside now and then get my plate, my spacer plate here to slide in between them, and then I can fully weld everything in. But yeah, looking pretty good so far. Okay guys, so I said that I was going to be working on the headers this week, and after we got the motor mounted and everything like you saw, I've just started on building the headers. So I have my first tube here. I've got the flange bolted up, and then I'm just using a build-it-yourself kit. It's got 1 3/4 inch tubes into a 3-inch collector. So it's designed for the chassis to go, you know, under the floor, but I've decided I'm changing it up, and I'm going to do more of like a fender well. So basically what we're going to do is, this is one of the collectors. So the tubes are going to come off the engine here. They're going to wrap around and come through this opening, and then the collector is actually going to sit somewhere in here like this. And then I'm going to put a 3-inch V-band on it, and then the muffler and turnout is just going to get V-banded to the end of it. So that way I don't have to worry about notching anything under the car, worrying about wiring or plumbing, or it's all just going to be on the outside. So hopefully it looks good, hopefully it sounds good, and hopefully it performs a little better than just a stock, you know, standard set of headers. That's kind of what I'm going for. Plus, with it being a nitrous car, I kind of want to have, you know, not saying it's going to shoot flames, but there's a chance that it could, and I'd rather have that outside the car than under the car. So yeah, we'll keep moving ahead and start doing some more of this other tubing. So if I take these 2 tubes here, because that's all the wide it's going to be. Right. I mean, and that's still hitting this body. It's not even really that close to the chassis. Right. Well, here, turn the wheel. Just we'll see what it looks like.
The hit.
I mean, it will. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm hitting. It's hitting right now.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Like I don't think you have much space in there. I don't think it's going to be that hard to get it down and out.
I mean, getting it down there and getting it out, that's not the problem. I mean, I can make these things do whatever I want them to do. It's the ease of, being able to disassemble and pull the headers if we ever have to pull them out. Because if I wrap them under the frame rail like that, then they'll have to come in and go out with the engine not even in the car.
Yeah, well, you don't have to wrap them. That's what I mean. Don't wrap them around the frame rail. Make it come down and then like this, or even angle just a little bit, and then put your flange, and then you can put your muffler on it and then cut it out wherever you can make that disconnect.
I know, but that was I just don't want them under the car. That was the whole point of cutting these tubes up and everything was.
I don't think there's a way for it not. I don't understand the big deal with it not under the car. I think it would just.
Well,
I think it would make it a lot easier to put it under the car.
Yeah, but the thing about not having it go under the car is you don't have any fumes inside the car.
Yeah, but that's where you put your tips. You just put the exhaust. You put the exit out of the car.
I know. I just think it's gonna hang. I think it's gonna hang too low. I mean, we're talking about lowering the car. We're talking about doing all this other stuff. I'm just trying to make the headers so we don't have to build 4 sets of headers.
I know, but I just don't think you have the room to get them out that way. Especially to go under. You're going to try to go out and then back under. That seems way more difficult. Like, I don't see how you get the header off at all.
You just unbolt it and.
But where's your collector end going to be?
Here, let me see the collector. It's over there. I mean, I can position it. I think. Here's where I'm thinking. Like somewhere in here. Because
that's a freaking that's on the outside of the entire car. A freaking Corvette Zoomy. All right, well, I think Steven's figured out exactly where he's going to put the collector placement. That's kind of what we were talking about in the last little clip, to figure out kind of where he's going to run the headers for an exit so he can get a muffler on it and everything else. But what you figured out now?
So I looked it up. The mufflers I'm getting are only 6 inches long.
Right.
And that's total length. So there's a little bit of play. So just eyeballing this. Here, hand me that tape measure. So just off of an eyeball.
Well, that's a tape measure, not an eyeball.
Well, I just kind of roughly looked at it. But if I put the collector here.
Right.
And give it a fender exit.
Yeah.
That right there is 6 inches with like an inch coming out of the fender.
Right, so you could even cut the collector back here and put the V-band on it like here.
I don't want to cut the collector too short because then you don't have the effect of a collector basically, and that's kind of the idea of why you want something on there. So I mean, I'll probably trim it back maybe 2 inches.
But will then the muffler be sticking? It'll just be the muffler hanging out the fender?
Yeah, it's just gonna, I mean, all you're basically gonna see out of the fender is just a little piece of tube. And if I absolutely have to, I can go get a piece of 3-inch tube once we get the fenders on and everything and just slide it into the end of the muffler to give us a little extra length.
Well, yeah. I just didn't know if it was the muffler would be sticking out.
No, it's I don't want the body of the muffler sticking
right,
out.
I
just want a little piece of pipe sticking out. So like I said, that's as long as I have it somewhere in this general area, you know, then...
Yeah, but 6 inches is all the way out here.
Well, I know, but that's only an inch outside of the edge of the door.
Right. How big's the body of the muffler?
I have no idea. I mean, it's probably 4.5 inches, 5 inches. I mean, it's a 3-inch pipe, and it's not in the picture. It's not a whole lot bigger than the size of the pipe.
Right.
So, but like I said,
I would kind of figure out where you want your collector, like right there, and then take a little piece of metal and just tack weld that collector right there. That way you know exactly where you need to put your tubes.
How does that look as far as
Yeah, it looks
length
fine.
of pipe and everything? Because again, I don't want to build shorty headers.
Right. I mean, I think with this last hole, you're probably going to want to like come out maybe, or do something, not go straight into it. But
yeah, no, it's not going to come straight.
you just have to make sure you're clearing for your spark plugs and stuff. But yeah, I think that'll be a good spot to figure it out.
All the tubes and stuff are going to be above this, so the spark plugs.
Yeah. So I think that'll be easy, especially that'll be easy service and everything too to get in and out.
And it's going to look good and sound good.
It's gonna be loud. It's definitely a full race car, but that'll be cool though. So heck yeah, so he's gonna keep working on that. He'll probably tack that up and then show you some video of him building this passenger side header today. I think in this video, this passenger side is probably the only thing we're gonna be getting to, especially with everything that he did, putting the drivetrain in and everything else. But yeah.
See how that looks. Fairly level. I can always trim off a little bit, if it sticks out too far, because I still got to put a muffler on it. But yeah, looks pretty good. You kind of see what we're going for now. Okay, guys. I'm gonna have to call it a night tonight. I got the passenger side all tacked up. It's all done. I'm not gonna fully weld it yet, but you know it's good size. If you look, I tried to keep all the primary tubes the same length. I mean, they're not exact; they're close, but it just looks awesome there with that fender well on it. And there's the carburetor I got. We wanted to put it on there, take a few pictures, you know, look at what it's going to look like. And I think it's really looking awesome. It's really coming together. I'm pretty excited, pretty proud of how these headers, at least this one side, has turned out. You know, for my first set that I've ever made, it looks pretty cool. So basically on the driver's side, I've got to delete the brake booster in order to start doing the driver's side. So that's going to, you know, that's going to happen here in the next few weeks. I've got engine parts coming. We've got all kinds of stuff coming. So we're rolling. We're still looking, you know, maybe into January is when we're going to fire this thing up. So we'll see what happens and see what where we go from there. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button to get all the rest of our videos, and go back and look and see what we've already made, and from Gerry to you know, from the very beginning with Gerry and the very beginning with the Camaro. We got big stuff coming, and thanks for watching. Bye.